Hey, welcome to a Q&A about what's happening with FinCon 21. I am your host for today, Libby. I'm the Creative and Marketing Director for FinCon.
And my name is Jessica Buffkin. I'm the CEO for FinCon. We're excited that you guys are joining us, and we're excited to talk about all things FinCon 21, all things that we know at the moment, anyway.
Yes. We're going to talk a little bit about what's new for this year, which is things
hmm
like COVID regulations, how we're calling this a hybrid event, what that really means, like virtual
hmm
versus in person in Austin. We're going to be talking about some new content additions that we have. Then we're also going to be talking about some things that you love about FinCon that have been part of the FinCon schedule for a long time, but maybe have a new twist this year. Things that are related to how you talk with brands, how you meet other creators, some content updates, how the app is going to be here again. And then the last big thing we're going to talk about is all things passes. So, what kind of pass is good for you? What happened if you transfer your pass from 2020 to 2021? What happens if you get one kind of pass and need a different kind of pass? So, lots of details about passes are coming later on. But first, the biggest question that we have been getting, I don't know if it's the biggest, but someone
I
said
was
it
going
real
to say,
loud. Yeah. I mean, everything's in bigger in Texas. This is a Texas year, right?
right.
So, one question we've been getting is, since we're going to be in Austin for the in-person portion of this event, is there going to be line dancing? So, Jessica, I just want to throw that out as a first question. Is there going to be line dancing for Austin?
Well, I cannot confirm nor deny line dancing at this point, mainly because we just haven't gotten to that point yet.
Okay,
There
okay.
are a lot of COVID regulations that would need to be visited with that. However, let me just say, as a former Texas resident for like 20 years and lover of all things Austin, if we don't have line dancing on the FinCon schedule, you could go on down to the Broken Spoke that's in Austin and
Okay.
you could get some line dancing done.
Okay.
Um, well, pre-COVID. I mean, I guess it's still there. I didn't do my research for that. So let's just say that even if we don't have it on the FinCon calendar,
Yeah.
then you could still do line dancing in Austin while you're there. How's
Okay.
that?
That's good. I just need plenty of time to like get practiced. I grew up in the South, and I know you did too. We learned line dancing as a part of PE units in junior high, and then in ninth and 10th grade. And so that was the last time I actually line danced. So I just need you to give us enough warning so I can get out there and practice and get that going.
Okay, I'm still getting over the fact that you had line dancing in PE and you grew up about an hour and a half away from me, and we did not have line dancing in PE. We didn't really have anything in PE. But as one who did not have that background in learning line dancing, I was just fine. So I think you're gonna be okay. We'll get you a couple of YouTube clips and we'll
I
we'll
mean,
do some line dancing before we leave Austin.
some of us are not as coordinated as others, so we need to be able to like practice in the comfort of our own homes before we get there.
They teach
So
you. That's the point. Is that's why you go to the Broken Spoke. Well, I don't know if they teach you, but there are plenty of people there who will whisk you out onto the dance floor and show you how to remember some line dancing that you learned in your junior high and high school years. How's that?
yeah, that sounds good. I probably will put in a vote for a meetup for those who need help line dancing.
That's
I
good.
cannot lead it, so I have to find someone who can. Maybe I'll call it the Broken Spoke and ask them if they could send someone to FinCon 21.
Uh,
Uh, anyway,
Austin's
okay.
gonna be fun. Austin's gonna be fun regardless.
Yeah,
It's just going to be a great city for
yeah.
FinCon. We people have been asking about Austin for years, so we are so excited that we actually could do that for a long time. We just haven't been able to make it work between hotels and space and what we needed. So super excited about Austin because this is an area that FinConners have been asking about. So we're excited that
Hmm.
we get to, when we do get to hang out again, that it gets to be in a city like Austin. So
Yeah,
that'll be
it'll
good.
be good. Okay, well, let's get into some like more serious questions. I mean, line dancing, I do take it seriously, but we got more
For
pressing
real.
matters. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about some things that are new for FinCon 21. First thing I want to hear from you about is what are we meaning when we keep calling this a hybrid event experience?
Okay, so hybrid means you attend in the way that is the best fit for you. So if you can come to Austin and you are comfortable traveling in September and you want to be there in person with everyone, then please come to Austin. Buy a pass that gets you an Austin experience. If you're not comfortable traveling yet, if you have a calendar conflict, if there is a reason that you can't come to Austin, but you still want to be a part of the FinCon 21 experience, we have a virtual option for you as well. And I think I just want to make it clear that we have tried really hard to not create a virtual experience that is some sort of runner-up experience to being there. I mean, obviously you can't completely replicate the live experience, but we've all seen a lot of virtual conferences in 2020. This isn't some sort of mail it in. We're going to give you all this pre-recorded stuff. Live will have its own MCs. Virtual will have its own MC. We will have two experiences that are as close to identical as we can get with recreating live versus virtual. That's our goal. That's our goal anyway. So.
Yeah. Well, and just kind of like as a reminder for folks who weren't able to participate, we did host our first online virtual event back in November of 2020. We called it FinCon X. It was a one day of three or four main sessions that we live streamed. We had meetups. We had just a positive experience. Like, do you feel like we got some great feedback on how we were able to pull off a virtual event from FinCon X?
Yeah, we did. The feedback was really good. That was one day, obviously. Mm-hmm. So with FinCon 21, we're trying to pull that across several days. And there is that level of like, you're virtual and you're tired. And so we're trying to keep things moving like we did with FinCon X, so that you're not just sitting there behind your computer watching the same type of talk the entire time. So we're trying to vary that. So we got a lot of different factors going on with that, but definitely we're attempting to make it as close to in person, if you can't be there, as possible. We'd love to see you in Austin, though, if you can be there, because it'll be good.
Yeah, in person. Yeah. I'm very excited about in person. And, I do know after FinCon X, we kind of just asked for feedback from those who attended, so we could gauge how a virtual event worked for us. And we heard from people who were able to create brand new brand sponsorships from FinCon X virtually, who were able to have a great experience ProNetworking 101 virtually, who participated in meetups that were great new connections and old connections. Yep. So again, if in-person is just not a great option for you right now, like we did have great experiences from other attendees at virtual. So I'm excited we're offering that.
And let me also add, it will not be identical to FinCon X either.
Yeah, that's right.
So some of the software will be upgraded. We're, just some of those things, some of the ways that we handle networking will be a little bit different. So just keep that in mind as well. FinCon X was the first go round, and we've seen some things and would like to tweak some things. So we're working on that as well. So if you did FinCon X and there were some things that could have been done better, we're trying.
That's right.
That's our goal.
That's right. Otherwise, I mean, like Jessica said, it's going to be a really similar experience. Like we'll have some MCs live in person in Austin. We're going to have an MC specifically dedicated to virtual. We'll have content in both places. I think it's going to be a great experience. Yep. So that is the hybrid event experience. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about that's new, and this is more specifically for what's happening in person in Austin, is this idea of COVID regulations. Kind of tell us a little bit about how that's going to affect the event and what people can expect when it comes to COVID-19 safety precautions.
Sure. So we're recording this right now in April, and we're not talking about an event that takes place until the end of September. So a lot could change between now and then. What I can tell you is that we are following the lead of the City of Austin, Austin Public Health, the Convention Center. They're all tied together, working together. They already have things in place for like more stringent cleaning, for masks at this point, for any contractors and general service contractors, any sort of AV companies. There are their own regulations for them, how they handle food. So they are dealing with that on their level. We are also dealing with it on our FinCon level. We will continue to communicate those things to you as they unfold. Right now, they are at a limited capacity for the convention center, but they project that over the course of the summer, there will be even more. So all those things are just fluid. And like everything else in the world right now dealing with COVID, I think that's pretty normal for you and for us to expect that those things could change over time. And so we will just continue to update you on that as they change. And we're just going with the flow when it comes to that, but taking it very seriously. We are working on our end. They are working on their end. Everyone's working together to try to make sure this is the safest event possible for us to be together in Austin.
Yeah. Okay. Beyond COVID, we want to talk a little bit about some content enhancements for 21. Every year we are working to make the event fresher while also balancing that with things that people love. And so this year we do have some updates to some content pieces of the event. Why don't you tell us a little bit about those?
Sure. So this year, because we are making some changes, because we are doing a hybrid event, we still have our breakout sessions that cover all the different tracks and platforms and ways that you can learn about create, promote, profit for your own platform. But one of the things that we're introducing to both in-person and virtual are called success labs. And so some of the feedback we've gotten over the years is people really love hearing success stories, like how I did this. That's why I like the podcast, how I made this is such a big podcast. Like, how did I do this? Whether it's podcasting or your YouTube channel or your blog or your freelancing career blew up, like people love to hear how it happened. So four of the big breakout sessions that we will see live, and maybe a few will be recorded because of logistics, but mainly live, will be our success labs. So there will be a success lab on content creation. There will be success labs on content promotion. How do you get your message out there, and who's done that well, and what can we learn from them? And also success labs on profit, like who's made some bucks, and do they have tips for us, and can they show us how they did this? And then also we will have the money conversations track, which took place at FinCon X, and we will also have that. So each time that you have breakout sessions to choose from in person in Austin or virtually, it will be centered around success labs, create, promote, profit, and then money conversations. And then we will also have all of our other breakout sessions that you will receive upon the end of FinCon 21. So various ways of getting all this content, but you still get it all. So that's one thing. There are one set of tracks that are new for FinCon X. They're FinCon 21.
Yeah.
A lot of FinCon talk.
And we are going to talk a little bit later on, just so you know, about speaker application processes. So if either of those feel like something you want to submit to speak on, like, we're going to talk about that later. Yep. Okay. The last thing in our What's New with 21 is we want to talk to you about what we're calling the limited edition swag pack, which I'm very excited about. Swag is a big deal for FinCon attendees, and it's one of my favorite things to work on for us each year. And so we're doing it different this year, though, with the t-shirt and the swag that you typically get. So Jessica, tell us a little bit about that.
Actually, I'm going to let you tell them, Libby. I don't know if they even know this. You're the one who creates all of our branding and our swag. You're the one who makes our fun t-shirts every year. You are the one who is single-handedly responsible for the FinCon Flamingo showing up in Orlando. You're also the one who thought of ball players last year, who had George Washington. So all those things, that's Libby. Oh, pointed the wrong way. That's Libby. So I'm going to let you talk about the thing that you work the hardest on. Well, maybe not the hardest, but very hard on each year.
You know, it is, thank you. It's an honor to get to make swag. I love doing it. I love seeing people get so excited about our t-shirt. And in case you've never gotten a FinCon t-shirt before, we take the softness seriously. We take the design of it seriously. We love for it to be like a collector's item. And so this year, typically in the past, the t-shirt and other swag items are built into your ticket. This year, because of the way things are working with the hybrid event experience, we are at making it an add-on. So for $20 extra, you can add on what we're calling the limited edition swag pack. We won't be making extra. You cannot get it later. You add it onto your ticket. That swag pack is going to include the 2020 t-shirt. And it'll
2021. 2021.
So yeah, we don't have any 2020s left. Sorry about that. That swag pack will include the 2021 limited edition t-shirt, and it will include some other goodies that you're used to getting, things like a sticker, maybe some buttons, just some fun other surprises in there for you. It's going to be $20, which I think is a great value. That's a lot for that amount, and includes the shipping and everything if you're not going to be there in person. And if you're in person, you just pick it up when you arrive. So be sure to add that on when you register for your pass, the limited edition swag pack.
Okay, to that, I want to add, if you transferred your pass from 2020, or if you attended FinCon X and you purchased your FinCon 21 pass, that comes automatically. So you don't have to add on because you've already purchased your pass. You will be receiving the swag pack. This is for anyone who purchases tickets from this point forward when they open on April 7th.
That's right.
So want to just make that clear. Also, she mentioned that if you have a virtual pass, we will mail that to you. You'll receive it after FinCon.
Yeah.
Those of you who show up in Austin, you will pick yours up when you're there.
Yeah. So just to recap, get that limited edition swag pack with your 21 t-shirt and all the other things in it, so you can be a part of the awesome t-shirt club. Okay. That kind of wraps up our conversation about what's new for 2021.
Sure.
Let's move on to what are the things that we have always come to expect and love at a FinCon event, but maybe have a new twist on them this year.
Sure.
So the first category of those is opportunities to meet with brands. Jessica, tell us how some of those are the same and maybe a little bit different this year.
Okay, FinCon Central. Still have FinCon Central like we always do. For those of you who've never attended FinCon, that is our expo hall, but it's more than just like, oh, let me go wander down this hall and browse some booths. It's the hub at the time when it's open. There's a lot going on in there beyond just booths. And there's content being produced, there's content being given, there are meetups, it's just all kinds of stuff going on FinCon Central. So if you are in Austin, FinCon Central will look very similar. Spaced out more, probably, but it will look very similar to what you've always seen. If you are attending virtually, there will be designated FinCon Central times virtually for you to go and browse the virtual booths, to be able to meet with those vendors one-on-one and have one-on-one video chats, or even type chats if you don't want a video with them, to be able to connect with them and talk to them. There will be a designated time for that. There will also be some other content that's taking place during that time as well that will be kind of like we have the solutions talks going on in FinCon Central. There'll be other talks going on during FinCon Central virtual. So 2 different FinCon Centrals. We are giving the sponsors these 2 designated times so that if you are live in Austin, they're focused completely on you during that FinCon Central time. If you are virtual, they're focused completely on you. So they're not trying to be in 2 places at one time. So those times will be designated accordingly on the schedule. So that's one way it's still the same, but then also a little bit different. ProNetworking. If you purchase a Pro Pass, if you're coming to do business with brands, if you want to grow and you're ready to move forward, ProNetworking will still take place both in Austin and both virtually. If you guys participated in ProNetworking at FinCon X, you got a little taste of that. Mm-hmm. So it does not matter if you are in either location. ProNetworking meetings will still take place. So you can sit down with them at a table in Austin, or you can do it via video chat via the software, Meeting Mojo, that we always use. In fact, that's what people did for FinCon X. And some said they even liked that better because they could share their screen and show them their rate card and show them their website and different things. So let's say you're in Austin and you ran back to the hotel and you can't make it back to the table. You could even do it virtually in Austin, if that makes sense. So ProNetworking works the same. Mm-hmm. There is still a speaker pro mixer that will take place in Austin, just like it always does in person. There will also be a virtual speaker pro mixer that will take place. So if you are attending virtually, anyone who is attending virtually can go to that mixer. So again, we're trying to make everything happen for both sides, whether or not you're there or attending virtually. So
yeah, and if you want to learn a little bit more about ProNetworking, if it's not something you participated in before, we have a page dedicated to that on the site, finconexpo.com/pro-networking. And you can just go there and read about how that works and just get some more details on it. So that's a great web link to check out. Okay, let's move on. Another thing that's new twist to some old good parts of FinCon. That sounds really bad. Old good parts. Anyway, is opportunities to meet with other creators. I know a lot of folks come to FinCon specifically to find other content creators to collaborate with, to partner with. Tell us about how that might be the same or different this year.
So if you're in Austin, it's going to look very similar to having the niche meetups, the platform meetups that we've always had, chances to just actually talk in the hall and visit with people. Speaker Pro Mixer, like I mentioned earlier, we'll also have round tables as well, where you can even drill down further and meet other people with similar interests or similar topics of interest. If you are attending virtually, it's going to be very similar, except maybe not the hall part, meeting people in the hallway. We'll still have meetups, which we did with FinCon X. We are still working on platforms for doing that. So all this software takes a little bit of time to kind of vet and figure out what we're going to use. Speaker Pro Mixer will take place, like I mentioned, virtually. Roundtables, we're going to try to make all of that happen for virtual. I just can't give you the details about how that's going to look because that's something that we're still ironing out at this point. But we're working at we're trying to make it all happen. Just like we did for X, you got a taste of that. We're trying to find something that's not Zoom, but honestly, there's some things about Zoom that are hard to duplicate.
Yeah. That's why
So
they're number
yeah,
one.
we'll see. I know,
Okay.
we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and either way you attend, like there's just so many great opportunities to meet with other people,
Yeah.
to collaborate with the, booths on podcasting on site and just meeting up and all kinds of stuff. So, all right, the next note here is, well, let's talk about content. How is content going to be the same, what we've expected from it in the past, and how might it be a little bit different?
So the biggest difference if you're in person is going to be the spacing out for social distancing for COVID. The good thing is we're in a convention center, so we have space to do that. So that's going to be the biggest difference for that. We are introducing some new tracks, and there will be less to choose from in person. So normally we have like 8 going on at one time. Well, we'll have more like 4. But you'll be able to space out more. And that's the success labs and money conversations that we talked about. One of the things with COVID is instead of having all these rooms, we're trying to drill it down to less rooms, but make them bigger, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's the plan at this point, and we're still working with Austin on that. So subject to change, but that's the plan at this point. So breakouts, some of them will be live, like the success labs, the money conversations, options. And then some will be pre-recorded because we just can't get everything online to do live, getting that many speakers. I mean, we usually have over 200 speakers. Mm-hmm. So not everybody's coming to Austin, and we want them to be able to participate virtually. And so what we will do is the success labs, if you're able to choose from during the live event, whether you're in Austin or virtual, most of those will be live. And then the breakout sessions that you normally know and love, you will get those also when you're finished. So, and you'll have access to them for a month. And it doesn't matter if you're virtual or in person. That will be the same for both. And I know that's confusing, but we are going to continue to educate you over email about what this really looks like. We'll continue to do conversations about it because we're going to do a whole other Facebook Live on speaker proposals. But what we want to do is make sure as many people as possible are able to participate mm-hmm. in whatever environment makes them the most comfortable. Mm-hmm. And so that is our goal with this, is to still bring as much content as we normally do, but to make sure that people feel comfortable in the way that they are delivering it. And so that's the plan at this point.
Yeah.
So,
and I just wanted to drill down into the main stage sessions real quick. We are, when it comes to that content specifically, like we will have MCs both for live in Austin. We'll have some backstage MCs for people who are watching virtually. We're going to have keynotes, and we're going to have big ideas, which people love, we love. We're going to announce our first big keynote coming up on April the 7th. So we're really excited about who that is. And if you don't know, big ideas are people from within the FinCon community who do short, kind of powerful talks that are about some of the success that they've had. And we usually with some actionable steps in it as well.
Yeah.
And then as far as the breakouts, Jessica did mention we're going to open up speaker proposals soon. And it does outline all the tracks that you need at finconexpo.com/speak. So you can, check out that website and learn about that before those proposals open up. And that's going to open on April 7th as well.
April 7th is a big day.
Yeah, it
Passes go on sale. Yeah. Keynote is announced. Speaker proposals start being accepted. April 7th. Let's go.
Yeah, that's right.
We've been planning for this for so long. We're ready. And there's a lot on April 7th for sure.
So anyway, we are excited about what's happening with content this year. Just feeling like we're delivering a balance of like, here's some fresh aspects, but also with the things that you have come to know and love about a FinCon event. The last thing I wanted to just speak to in this category of things that we are used to having, but maybe have a little bit of a difference, is the app. We will be having a FinCon event app again this year. Jessica, tell us a little bit about that.
So basically, if you're in Austin or you're virtual, same app. So those of you who are in Austin will have access to all the things that are taking place virtually as well, because that is where the virtual portions take place. So again, if you run up to your hotel room, you can still catch the live stream on the app because it's taking place in there. So it is the same platform that we've grown and loved over the years. It's an easy learning curve. There's really not a lot to orient yourself to with it. And we want to make that as user-friendly as possible. It is a great way to connect with people, especially if you're virtual. You can reach out and DM them. But one thing that we always ask you guys, and even more sponsors ask with FinCon X, I think, because virtual really affected this is tag your niches in your profile,
Mm-hmm.
because that is how, especially if you're attending virtually and you don't get to have those in-person conversations, a lot of these sponsors and a lot of other content creators are looking for those niches to find people to connect with. So if you're into real estate niche, or if you're in investing, or if you're in family finance, tag those things in your profile so that people can find you even easier. And we'll do a whole thing about that later. Yeah. But just, we always want to say that we put little ads in the activity stream to remind you, but especially with virtual, that makes a big difference, because that's how people can find you to connect with you. And it's not random. They're looking for that niche and they find you and reach out. So yeah.
I think the cool thing about the app in a year where we're doing a hybrid experience is, like, if we did a Venn diagram of our interactive with people, you've got people in the in-person, you've got people that are virtually watching from home, and the app is that section where those overlap. That's where they get to interact with each other. They're interacting with brands who are in both places. They're interacting with attendees who are in both places. So I think that's a cool thing about an app, is it's like everyone is there. Everyone from wherever they're participating is in there, and you can connect with them. And so I think that's really cool. In addition to just really being like, it's where the agenda is, it's where, all that kind of like nuts and bolts stuff is. So, okay, well, that is some things that you can expect that'll be back at our events, maybe a little bit new and different. Let's move on to talking about passes. There are so many ins and outs about the passes this year. And so I want us to dive into that. The first thing I want us to talk about is we always offer 3 pass types: basic, pro, and brand. And I want to talk about a little bit about what pass is right for you as an attendee. So Jessica, tell us a little bit about the basic pass, who that's good for.
Mm-hmm. So if you have never attended FinCon before and you want to check it out, or if you have attended several times but you feel like your platform, maybe you're not ready to have these really in-depth business conversations with brands yet, then a basic pass is going to be what you need. It gets you in, gets you the full FinCon experience. It gives you everything you need to participate fully, whether you buy the virtual one or the Austin version. Basic pass gets you the full FinCon experience. If you have been growing your platform and you feel like you're at a point where you are primarily going to FinCon to do business with brands, then you're probably going to want to do a Pro Pass. That gets you ProNetworking, where you're able to schedule meetings in advance, go to FinCard with your dance card, to speak, of these meetings planned out in advance with these brands. You're able to meet with them one-on-one in the ProNetworking time. You're able to attend the speaker ProNetworking mixer, so that anyone that you didn't get to meet with, then you're able to talk to them a little bit more. That's a Pro Pass. It's a premium pass, meaning it's more than the basic pass, but you are paying for the business that you're getting to do there. And most of the people tell us the return on that is great for them. If you are anyone else, if you are in the industry, if you're a brand rep, if you are anyone that's not a content creator, that is the brand and industry pass. You are there to do business with the content creators, with the bloggers, the podcasters, the YouTubers. Then you're going to want the brand and industry pass. All 3 of our pass types have a virtual option or an Austin option. So we still only have 3 pass types. You just have to choose, is this pass going to be for me at home, or is this pass going to be for me in Austin? That's your other choice that you have to make this year that makes it a little bit different.
Yeah, so when you are, like, just repeat what she's saying. When you go to choose your pass, select brand, pro, or basic, and then you're going to select whether you're going to do in-person in Austin or you're going to do virtual. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in a few minutes, but that's basically the choices you have to make. If you want to know a little bit more of the details on that, if you go to finconexpo.com/21, at the very bottom of the page, right before you purchase your pass, is a table, and it kind of shows you a comparison of, this is what comes with pro, this is what comes with brand, this is what comes with basic. So you can kind of just check it out there and see what works for you. So again, that's finconexpo.com/21. Okay, so the next big kind of question I think is important for us to answer is, many people, when we changed what happened in 2020, we had a lot of people transfer their passes from 2020 to 2021. We also had a good number of folks who purchased a pass for 21 around FinCon X during an early bird kind of a sale, or an exclusive sale. So if you fall into those 2 categories of transfer my pass or already bought my 21 pass, what happens with my pass? What kind of pass do I get? Like, I got a lot of questions about that.
Sure. So what happens with your pass, or what kind of pass you get, is whatever you bought in 2020
Mm-hmm.
or whatever you bought at FinCon X, that's the pass that you get. So if you bought a basic pass for 2020 and then it was canceled, we transferred and it became a basic pass for 2021. If you want to upgrade, you're welcome to upgrade. You can email us at admin@finconexpo.com. But whatever you bought at that time, that is what you have now. The only thing is, you have not had to choose yet on whether or not you're going to be in Austin or whether or not you're going to be virtual. Mm-hmm. And so that choice is coming for you in the next few months. We're giving you a little bit of a runway here to make sure that you have decided which avenue you're going, virtual or in person. But you will have to make a choice this summer for planning purposes, all these things we need to know. So you didn't have to choose at that point, but you will have to make a choice.
Yeah.
We will reach out to you about that, though.
Okay.
So
what if I cannot remember what kind of pass I bought? Like, how would I know where to find that or figure that out? What should I do about that?
You should have gotten an email from Ticket Spice in the fall when we made the transfer, or in the fall when you purchase in the exclusive sale after FinCon X. You should have gotten a registration email from Ticket Spice. So search your email archives for that. Okay. If you can't find it, just email us at admin@finconexpo.com, and someone from the team will be happy to look that up for you and to confirm and send you a reconfirmation email so you can know what you had. Not a problem.
Okay, great. That is so helpful. Okay, so what if I'm ready to buy a pass for the first time for FinCon 21, and I just am not sure how I feel about. I mean, it's early. You know, this event is until September. I'm not sure if I'm ready to purchase in person, and I'm not sure if I want to do virtual. Like, I'm really on the fence. What do you suggest I go ahead and do?
So pricing when it rolls out on April 7th will be for a limited time. So what I would suggest you do is go ahead and buy the virtual. If you know you want to attend virtually, go ahead and do that. Then you will have a window of time until the summer to upgrade. That window will close and we'll notify everybody via email and the socials and everything else. But go ahead and lock that virtual pricing in now.
Okay.
And take advantage of that limited time. And then you can upgrade at any time. We'll give you some options along the way, and you can do that until that window closes. That's what I would recommend. But because you can't downgrade.
Yeah. That was my next question. I mean, it seems to make sense. If I purchase virtual, I can upgrade later just by emailing in and saying admin@finconexpo.com. I'm ready to be in person. I want to upgrade. But what if I purchase in person and something down the road makes me decide I'd prefer to only attend virtual? What are my options?
So we don't offer refunds. Currently, the price between the virtual and the in-person on the basic pass is only going to be a $25 difference. So you're not out a significant amount of money, but I know my frugal friends out there don't want to lose anything. Yeah. And I get that. So if you really are on the fence, some people are hardcore, like I am ready to go book my flight soon, all of that. But some people still want to decide. So if I were you, I would buy the virtual first because we don't offer refunds. So if you buy the in-person, you can use it virtually later. It's fine if you don't show up in Austin, but we don't offer a refund for that difference.
Okay. Makes sense to me. Okay, that's our conversation about passes. Again, if you want to just eyeball this, if you want someone to look to see all these details, finconexpo.com/21. Passes are going to open up April 7th. If you have just any questions, like, our team is here to help. Me and Jessica want to help you get to FinCon in whatever way you want to get there. And so you can email us at admin@finconexpo.com. All right, we have a set of questions that the community submitted when we asked for them via email and via social. And so I just want to run through those and see if you have the answers. I would like to see if I can stump you, but that's very nice. So, okay.
I'm sure somebody on this live is going to stump me at some point in time.
Okay. So first question up, that's just a random, is there going to be a hotel room block in Austin? You know, typically for our events, we're always like, everyone's in the same hotel and our event's in the hotel. We're at a convention center this year, which is going to be a first for us, quite honestly. Actually, tell us a little bit about that, what that looks like as a convention center and then works with a hotel room block.
Sure. So the convention center in Austin is right in the heart of downtown. There are quite a few hotels within a block or two of walking distance to the convention center. We do have a small hotel room block that we will release on April 7th as well. because it's a COVID year and because it's a hybrid, our first hybrid event, we don't have any historical numbers to know, like, how many do we need? How many people are coming? We're everybody's kind of being patient with each other on figuring COVID out. So we do have a small hotel room block. We will email it first to the people who have transferred and purchased passes already, and then we will send it to everyone else as well. Then we will also show you, here are all the other hotels that are available in the area. Here's pricing on those, and send that over. If we need more rooms at that block, we can increase it slightly, but we don't have like tons of hotel blocks this year because we're just trying to figure out what it looks like and how to plan, and we can't be beholden for as many rooms as we normally would be. And that's just it's just COVID. So, but I have been asked by a lot of people about that block. So just know it's coming on April 7th, first to the people who've purchased already, and then we'll go out for any beyond that as well.
Now, that's hotels for in person. Now, if I want to choose virtually, but I need to get a hotel in my own town in order to like get away from regular life, are you offering
people got stuff to do. People got stuff to do. Don't try to stump me with that what you gonna do, where you gonna stay. Although if you and your FinCon local group want to get together and rent out a house and everybody feels safe about that, but don't call it FinCon local because I'm not taking the risk for y'all. Y'all do that on your own. I see you trying to stump me, though.
I know, I'm working at it. Okay. I have a question here from somebody that says, how can they help with FinCon 21? Is there a volunteer program? When can we volunteer? How can we volunteer? What kind of things does that require? Tell me about volunteering with this event.
So there will be opportunities to volunteer in Austin. There will be opportunities to volunteer online. We will send those out probably later in the summer after we have finalized more of our plans with COVID and understanding like what we can and can't use volunteers for and and space require, all the stuff. Yeah. But yes, there will be opportunities for both. We will email those out like we do every year for the in-person event. And then you can sign up and volunteer in either way that you would prefer.
I love working with our volunteers. They kind of like bring the fun every year and keep us laughing. And they're like fresh faces because we've been like dying for like 18 days in a row, and they're like showed up for their first 5 minutes, and I'm just like, oh god, it's so nice.
They can smile the whole time where we're just like, can we just take a nap? Take a nap.
When volunteers get assigned to work with my team, I was just trying to think of like if someone's wondering what they would do if they volunteered. When people volunteer with my team, they get to like carry signs around, maybe like hand out T-shirts, make sure someone's not taking too many buttons. Last year we had volunteers like holding the presidential big fat heads or whatever they're called. What are some things volunteers do like that you've seen on site?
Yes, so they can help with registration. They can help direct people to where they need to go. They can help at the information desk. They can help us answer any sponsor questions at the booths. They can help get coffee out or direct people to seating. There are just a lot of things. It's as far as most of our volunteer things are not like high capacity, you need to move things or do something dangerous. We don't like for you guys to have to take that kind of risk. But they're more like, how do you help people integrate into the event better? Whether it is literally by answering their questions or by putting signage that helps them, it's always focused on helping everyone feel more at home and more comfortable in that space. Yeah. And that's really whatever that role you may be playing is. And by the way, you get to choose. Like, we don't assign you. Like, if you think putting out signage with Libby is fun, please, she would love to have your help. But if you're going to be giving out badges with me, I would love to have your help too. So either way.
And here's a secret that our volunteers say every year. If you are like me and you're a real introvert and you don't know how to meet people at our event, people are like, if I sign up to volunteer, I'm working with like a small group of people, and I all of a sudden make new friends. We have people who've actually ended up working with us more long term, and that's because they volunteered and they started meeting people. So if you're just looking for new ways to get to know other community members, like volunteering is a great way to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. The next question I've got here is, what if I want to be a sponsor for FinCon 21? Tell me what I should be doing.
You can email us at admin@finconexpo.com, and somebody from our team would be more than happy to talk to you about it. We have been seeing this has been a big month for sponsors. We're excited. We've onboarded quite a few. I think they're excited to be traveling as well and be in Austin, but also that they get to meet up with you guys that are virtual. So they get the best of both worlds. So if you would like to participate as a sponsor, you can check out the link that's at the bottom, finconexpo.com/sponsor. But you can also just email us directly. We'll send you the deck and we'll set up a call if you want and talk to you more about how you can participate as a brand at FinCon 21.
Tell me about, someone's asking specifically about if there's going to be a podcast booth this year and video recording booths on site.
That is the plan for now. It may look a little bit different. The podcasting booth probably will just look a little bit larger and spaced out a little bit more. It's not enclosed. The video booth, we're going to have to talk about what that's going to look like, or that space, to make sure that we get airflow, we got plenty of room and all that. But yes, they will both be there. Nefi is sponsoring the video booth already. Still need a podcast stage sponsor if anybody's just looking for a sponsorship. So anyway, they will both be there. For those of you who've never attended FinCon and don't know about them, it is a place for you to come and create content while you're at FinCon. So there will be places to sign up for both. We will provide the equipment for you to do that. And then you can connect with other influencers and content creators and say, hey, can I interview you for my podcast? Let's meet at the stage at 12:30. And then, you go from there. Same thing with video. Yeah. So, it's a great, they both fill up completely. We've had to double the size over the last few years. So it's just a great opportunity for you and just to provide that place designated for you to be able to do that. We love it when both brands and content creators create content at FinCon. One of the things that we ask is you don't just stop in the middle of a hallway and set up a light kit. So because we don't do things like that, whatever you do has got to be mobile. This kind of bridges that gap and provides you the space to do those things so that you aren't impeding traffic flow or just putting it in places where the fire marshal doesn't like it, things like that. So it serves a lot of purposes, both of those areas do. So they're coming back.
There's been some good content created on site at the last few years. I think we actually, on our YouTube page, we have a whole playlist of stuff that brands have created on site, stuff that other just attendees have created on site. So if you kind of want to see a little bit what that can end up looking like, check that out on our YouTube channel. Okay, the last question here is, when do speaker applications open, and what is that? Give me a small snippet of what that process looks like, because we're going to do a thing about this again, just all about speaker submissions. So give me just a little bit of something about speaker submissions.
So all of the tracks are going to be listed on the finconexpo.com/speak page, correct? Yeah. She just put it at the bottom. So all of those will be listed on that page. So you can go and look at those descriptions and figure out if you've got something that fits one of those and submit to speak on that. You are not limited to one. We have an open speaker submission process, so you can submit as many as you want to. I think the deadline is, we'll talk about it more, but I think it's we have a month that we'll be accepting speaker proposals. You tell us in your proposal this year if you're planning to attend virtually or in Austin, or if you don't know. And we talk to you a little bit more in there about what that looks like when you're applying to speak. Then we have a speaker selection committee that, we don't yet, but we will have a speaker selection committee that will meet and make decisions and place everyone. And then we'll notify throughout the summer everyone about our speaker decisions. So this is not main stage. These are all of our breakout sessions. So April 7th, a lot of you have been asking. So let's go. It's time for all the stuff.
Yeah. So we are really excited. Thank you guys for catching what we're talking about today. FinCon 21 is going to be a great event, and I hope that what we've shared has been helpful to you guys. Again, passes will be available beginning April the 7th. You can get those at finconexpo.com/21. And in the meantime, all the details you need are there. We explain everything we've talked about today lives on that landing page, so you can read through it. There's videos about what past events have been like. There's, just all kinds of information. So put April 7th down on your calendar. Passes will be open. Speaker submissions will be open. Keynote will be announced. And I'm sure we will see you guys in this format again before the event is here. But we are really excited about seeing you guys in September for FinCon 21.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
See you actually in a couple of weeks when we talk about speakers a little bit more too. We'll be announcing that there. Yeah.
So, all right. Thank you guys. And we'll catch you next time.
Bye.